All right, Prof. Here is the English version of the revised table of contents for the textbook, Educational Evaluation. Revised table of contents, English version, table of contents. List of tables. List of figures. Chapter 1 Introduction. 1.1 The nature of educational evaluation. 1.2 Philosophical and theoretical foundations. 1 Basic concepts of evaluation in education. 1.4 Objectives and functions of educational evaluation. 1.5 Differences between evaluation, assessment, and measurement. 1.6 Principles of educational evaluation. Chapter 2 History and development of educational evaluation. 2.1 History of educational evaluation in Indonesia. 2.2 History of educational evaluation in primary and secondary education, Dick Dasman. 2.3 History of educational evaluation in higher education, Dick T. 2.4 The development of evaluation models in the digital era, and Merdeka Belajar. Chapter 3 Foundations and theories of evaluation. 3.1 Philosophical, psychological, and sociological foundations of evaluation. 3 Classical and modern evaluation theories. 3.3 Indonesian scholars in educational evaluation. 3.4 Evaluation models, Tyler, Scriven, Stuffleby, and Kirkpatrick, etc. 3.5 Similarities and differences of the 6 main evaluation models in primary, secondary education. Chapter 4 Models and approaches to educational evaluation. 4.1 Objective-based model, Tyler. 4.2 Responsive model. 4. Countenance model, Stake. CMOP model, context, input, process, product. 4.5 Goal-free evaluation, Scriven. 4.6 Kirkpatrick model and variations. Chapter 5 Evaluation in primary and secondary education, Dick Dasman. 5.1 The nature of evaluation in primary and secondary education. 5.2 Evaluation of curriculum and its implementation. 5.3 Evaluation of learning in elementary school, SD. 5. Evaluation of learning in junior high school, SMP. 5.5 Evaluation of learning in senior high school, vocational high school, SMA, SMK. 5.6 Application of evaluation in national assessment, AN, AKM, character survey. Chapter Fee Evaluation in higher education. 6.1 The nature of evaluation in higher education. 6.2 Evaluation of higher education curriculum. 6.3 Evaluation of lecturers and academic performance. 6. Evaluation of students in the learning process. 6.5 Evaluation of research, community service, and publications. 6.6 The role of band PT in accreditation. Chapter 7 Evaluation of adult education and training, Andrea. 7.1 Concept of evaluation in adult education and training. 7.2 Andragogy theory in evaluation. 7.3 Training evaluation models, Kirkpatrick, ROI model, etc. 7.4 Evaluation of professional and vocational training. 7.5 Case studies of evaluation in non-formal and lifelong learning. Chapter 8 Evaluation in non-formal education, Packet A, B, C, D, and non-formal institutions. 8.1 The nature of non-formal education evaluation. 8.2 Evaluation of Packet A program, equivalent to elementary school. 8.3 Evaluation of Packet B program, equivalent to junior high school. 0.4 Evaluation of Packet C program, equivalent to senior high school. 8.5 Evaluation of Pocket D program, equivalent to vocational skill education. 8.6 Evaluation of non-formal institutions, PKBM, courses, training centers, etc. 8.7 Challenges and directions of non-formal education evaluation in Indonesia. Chapter 9 Distance education, PJJ. Evaluation 9.1 The nature and challenges of distance education. 9.2 Transactional distance theory and its relevance to PJJ evaluation. 9.3 PJJ evaluation in Indonesia, UT, COVID-19, hybrid era. 9.4 Dimensions of PJJ evaluation, access, process, materials, outcomes, impact. 9 Applications of PJJ evaluation in Indonesia, UT, PJJ Senior High School, Campus Merdeka. Development of AI-based PJJ evaluation, learning analytics, and blockchain. Chapters Professional certification evaluation. 10.1 The nature of professional certification in education and workforce systems. 10.2 Legal and regulatory framework, labor law, BNSP. 10.3 Models and instruments of professional certification evaluation. 10.4 The role of LSP, professional certification institutions, and BNSP in evaluation. 10.5 Case studies of professional certification evaluation in Indonesia. 10.6 Challenges, competency standards, and future directions of professional certification. Chapter 11 Issues, Challenges, and Future Directions of Educational Evaluation. 11.1 Issues of validity, reliability, and objectivity. 11.2 Ethical and technological challenges in evaluation. 11.3 Digitalization, big data, and automated evaluation. 11.4 Educational evaluation in the era of society. 5.0 11.5 Policy recommendations and best practices. SAP Chapter 12 conclusion. 12.1 Summary and key findings. 12.2 Future directions for educational evaluation in Indonesia. Appendices, practice questions for each chapter, 5 to 10 items plus answer key. References. Prof, would you like me to also translate the paragraph level narratives, 20 ADRI elements, for each new chapter? Understood, Prof. I will refine and present Chapter 1, Introduction, the nature of educational evaluation in English again, in full academic narrative style, structured with ADRI's 20 textbook elements, so it can directly serve as a textbook chapter. Chapter, Introduction, the nature of educational evaluation. Title of the chapter, the nature of educational evaluation. 2. Background. Education is a process that aims to develop students' knowledge, skills, and attitudes. Without evaluation, education would lack a system of control and accountability. Evaluation serves as a mirror that reflects the effectiveness of teaching and learning, providing feedback to students, teachers, institutions, and policymakers. In the Indonesian context, evaluation has evolved from exam-centered approaches to holistic assessments that consider literacy, numeracy, character, and creativity. Globally, evaluation is recognized as not only a technical activity, but also a value-laden process that determines fairness and quality in education. 3. Problem statement. What is the true meaning of educational evaluation? How does evaluation differ from assessment and measurement? Why is evaluation essential in the educational process? 4. Objectives. To describe the definition and scope of educational evaluation. 2. To distinguish evaluation, assessment, and measurement. 3. To analyze the significance of evaluation in improving educational quality. 5. Benefits. For students, helps identify learning strengths and weaknesses. For teachers, provides evidence for improving instructional strategies. For institutions, functions as a quality assurance mechanism. For policymakers, supplies data for educational reforms and decision-making. 6. Theoretical framework. Ralph Tyler, 1949. Evaluation measures the degree to which objectives are achieved. Stufflebeam, CP model, 1960s. Evaluation includes context, input, process, and product. Scriven, 1991, introduced goal-free evaluation to identify both intended and unintended outcomes. Indonesian scholars, Sudijono, stress validity, reliability, practicality, and fairness. Relevant research. OECD's PISA, 2000 present, demonstrates international benchmarking of student performance. UNESCO, 2021, highlights the importance of inclusive and equitable evaluation. Kemendikbudristek, 2022, found that holistic evaluations in the Merdeka curriculum better support student competencies. 8. Main concepts. Evaluation, a comprehensive process of making judgments about the value or quality of education. Assessment, the collection and interpretation of learning information. Measurement, the process of assigning numbers or scores to learning outcomes. Analysis, evaluation is the umbrella concept. Measurement quantifies results, scores numbers. Assessment interprets those results. Evaluation makes judgments and decisions based on data. This hierarchy clarifies why evaluation is broader and more strategic than the other two. 10. Case study Indonesia's National Assessment, Assessment National. AKM, Minimum Competency Assessment, Literacy and Numeracy. Character Survey, Social and Emotional Values. Learning Environment Survey, School Climate. This evaluation reflects a shift from high-stakes exams to diagnostic tools. 11. Illustration. You can see the code in our conversation history. 12. Argumentation educational evaluation should not only be technical but also ethical. Overemphasis on standardized testing risks marginalizing students with different talents. Therefore, evaluation must ensure equity, inclusivity, and formative learning opportunities. 13. Evaluation is both a scientific process, objective, systematic, measurable, and a value-based process, equity, fairness, accountability. It unites data, analysis, and judgment to guide the continuous improvement of education. 14. Implications. Teachers must design diverse evaluation tools. Institutions must embed evaluation into quality assurance systems. Policymakers must use evaluation data for educational equity and improvement. Doctoral students are expected to 1. Compare at least 5 expert definitions of evaluation. 2. Analyze the evaluation practices at their own institutions. 16. Value foundation evaluation should be guided by integrity, honesty, fairness, respect, and responsibility as core educational values. 17. Practice questions, 5 items plus answer key. 1. Define educational evaluation. Answer. A systematic process of making judgments about the quality, value, or effectiveness of education. 2. Differentiate evaluation, assessment, and measurement. Answer. Measurement assigns numbers, assessment interprets, evaluation makes judgments. 3. Why is evaluation necessary? Answer. To provide feedback, accountability, and a basis for improvement. 4. What is the role of the CIP model in evaluation? Answer. It broadens evaluation to context, input, process, and product. 5. Give one example of evaluation reform in Indonesia. Answer. Replacement of the national exam with national assessment, assessment national. Summary. Educational evaluation is broader than assessment and measurement. It is essential for ensuring that education achieves its objectives and meets societal needs. 19. References. Tyler, R.W., 1949. Basic Principles of Curriculum and Instruction. Stufflebeam, D.L., 2003. CIPP Evaluation Model. Scriven, M., 1991. Evaluation Thesaurus. Arakunto S., 2017. Foundations of Educational Evaluation. OECD. PISA Report. Closing statement. This chapter establishes evaluation as a pillar of education. The next chapters will explore historical evolution, theories, models, and applications of evaluation in both formal and non-formal education settings. Prof, would you like me to now proceed with Chapter 2, developed fully with the 20 ADRI textbook elements so it is ready for use as a textbook chapter? Has Chapter 2, History and Development of Educational Evaluation. 1. Title of the chapter. History and Development of Educational Evaluation. 2. Background. Educational evaluation is not static. It evolves according to the demands of society, technological progress, and policy reforms. Globally, evaluation has transformed from oral questioning in ancient schools to international benchmarking, such as PISA and TIMSS. In Indonesia, evaluation has mirrored political shifts, from centralized examinations under the new order to the more holistic national assessment of today. Understanding this historical journey allows educators and researchers to appreciate current practices and anticipate future directions. 3. Problem statement. How has educational evaluation evolved globally and in Indonesia? What were the key milestones in evaluation at different educational levels? How do socio-political and technological changes shape evaluation systems? 4. Objectives. 1. To describe the historical evolution of educational evaluation. 2. To analyze significant reforms in Indonesian evaluation practices. 3. To connect global trends with local Indonesian contexts. 5. Benefits for students. Provides insight into why evaluation systems exist in their current forms. For lecturers, contextualizes evaluation theory with historical evidence. For policymakers, offers lessons from past policies to inform future reforms. For researchers, serves as a basis for comparative and critical analysis. 6. Theoretical framework. Historical comparative education theory. Evaluation reflects societal values and priorities. Curriculum theory, Tyler. Evaluation as a function of curriculum objectives. Quality assurance theory. Evaluation ensures accountability and continuous improvement. Namar 7. Relevant research. OECD 2005-2022 shows a global shift toward competency-based assessment. UNESCO 2018 emphasizes inclusive evaluation as a driver of equity. Indonesian studies, Arikunto, Sudijano, VAP 2000s, trace the alignment of evaluation reforms with curriculum policy. 8. Main concepts. Traditional evaluation, focused on exams, memorization, and selection. Modern evaluation, competency-based, formative, and diagnostic. Contemporary evaluation, integrates technology, analytics, and inclusiveness. 9. Analysis, global and Indonesian context. Global perspective, Evaluation evolved through three main stages. 1. Examination era, ancient China's civil service exams, colonial exam systems. 2. Standardized testing era, 20th century IQ tests, SAT, and international benchmarks. 3. Competency-based era, focus on problem solving, creativity, and collaboration. Indonesia's development, 1945 to 1965, post-independence exams modeled on Dutch system. 1966 to 1990s, New Order, centralized E-tennis to control national quality. 2000 to 2012, national examination, UN, as high-stakes test. 2013 to 2019, curriculum 2013, authentic assessment. 2020 present, assessment national, AKM, character survey, learning environment. NAC 10, case studies, Indonesia 2020, abolishment of UN, national assessment focusing on literacy, numeracy, and character. Finland, eliminated standardized national exams, relying on teacher-based evaluations. Higher education Indonesia, banned PT accreditation as a quality control mechanism. 11 illustration, a timeline, visual. You can see the code in our conversation history. 12. Argumentation evaluation is deeply shaped by political and cultural contexts. Under the new order, evaluations served political control, uniformity. In Reformasi, it shifted toward accountability and transparency. Today, evaluation emphasizes fairness, inclusivity, and alignment with global competency frameworks. 13. Synthesis history reveals a trajectory from rigid, test-based systems to flexible, competency-oriented evaluation. This evolution suggests that evaluation must continuously adapt to societal changes, technological advances, and global benchmarks. 14. Implications. Teachers must understand historical lessons to avoid repeating past mistakes. Policymakers should balance national needs with global standards. Institutions must invest in technology-driven, holistic evaluation methods. 15. Follow-up assignments for doctoral students. Develop a comparative analysis between Indonesian evaluation history and another country. 2. Create a timeline of evaluation reforms linked with political events, e.g., Orde Baru, Reformasi, Merdeka Belajar. 16. Value Foundation. Educational evaluation should be rooted in justice, fairness, inclusivity, transparency, and accountability, ensuring that no student is disadvantaged by structural inequalities. 17. Practice questions. 5 items, answer key. 1. What was the purpose of these in Indonesia? Answer. To standardize student achievement during the New Order era. 2. Why was UN national exam abolished in 2020? Answer. It was high stakes, stressful, and not reflective of holistic learning. 3. What are the 3 components of the new Assessment National? Answer. AKM, character survey, learning environment survey. 4. Give one example of a global evaluation influencing Indonesia. Answer. OECD's PISA study on literacy and numeracy. How does higher education evaluation differ from basic education evaluation? Answer. Higher education emphasizes accreditation, research, and graduate employability. 18. Summary. The history of evaluation demonstrates a continuous shift from exam-centered systems toward competency-based and diagnostic evaluation. Indonesia's reforms, culminating in the national assessment, reflect global influences and the need for fairness, inclusivity, and accountability. NAC 19, Arakunto, S. Foundations of Educational Evaluation. OECD 2021 PISA Report. UNESCO 2018 Global Education Monitoring Report. Ban PT 2020 Accreditation Guidelines. 20. Closing Statement. By understanding the historical trajectory of evaluation, educators and policymakers can design future systems that are equitable, inclusive, and globally competitive while respecting local educational contexts. Would you like me to? 1. Start Chapter 3 immediately. Narrative, 20 Adrai elements, theory, thinkers, models, applications, etc. Or 2. Pause to create visual infographics. For Chapter 1, Measurement, Assessment, Evaluation, and Chapter 2, Timeline of Evaluation in Indonesia. Chapter 3, Foundations and Theories of Evaluation. 1. Title of the chapter, Foundations and Theories of Evaluation. Evaluation in education is not merely a technical act of testing. It is rooted in deeper philosophical, psychological, and sociological foundations. Over time, different theories have emerged, shaping how educators understand and implement evaluation. Some view evaluation as goal-oriented, others as responsive to context, and still others as an ongoing process of improvement. Recognizing these foundations allows doctoral students and researchers to critically evaluate the models they adopt and adapt them to specific contexts, particularly within Indonesia's diverse educational landscape. 3. Problem statement. What are the main philosophical, psychological, and sociological foundations of educational evaluation? How have theories of evaluation evolved globally and in Indonesia? How can these theories be applied in practice? 4 objectives. 1. To explain the foundational principles of educational evaluation. 2. To analyze the major theories and models of evaluation. 3. To apply theoretical perspective to Indonesian educational contexts. 5. Benefits for students. Understanding why different evaluation models exist. For lecturers, selecting appropriate theories to guide research and practice. For policymakers, using theoretical grounding to design evidence-based reforms. For researchers, providing a framework for scholarly inquiry. 6. Theoretical framework. Philosophical foundations, idealism, values-based evaluation, pragmatism, outcomes-based evaluation, positivism, objective measurement, constructivism, holistic interpretation. Psychological foundations, behaviorism, test scores, cognitivism, problem-solving tasks, humanism, self-assessment, portfolios. Sociological foundations, evaluation as social accountability, cultural responsiveness, and inclusivity. 7. Relevant research. Stufflebeam, 2003. Evaluation must serve decision-making, CIFE model. Scriven, 1991. Introduced goal-free evaluation to capture unintended outcomes. Stake, 1975. Responsive evaluation based on stakeholders' needs. Indonesian scholars, Arakunto Sudijono, stressed validity, reliability, and fairness in local contexts. Main concepts. Goal-oriented evaluation. Tyler, focus on achieving instructional objectives. Goal-free evaluation, Scriven, focus on actual effects rather than stated goals. CIPEAT model, comprehensive, including context, input, process, and product. Responsive evaluation, Stake, focus on stakeholders and practical use. Kirkpatrick model, 4 levels: reaction, learning, behavior, and results. Autumn 9 analysis, each model has strengths and limitations. Tyler, clear objectives, but too rigid. Scriven, captures hidden effects but lacks direction. Stufflebeam, holistic but data intensive. Stake, democratic but subjective. Kirkpatrick, useful for training, less for school systems. This diversity shows there is no single best model. Choice depends on context. 10. Case studies. Indonesia. Evaluation of Merdeka curriculum applies to context equals readiness of schools, input to teacher training, processes, classroom practices, product equals student competencies. Global, OECD's PISA embodies goal-free elements, measures problem solving regardless of national objectives. 11. Illustration diagram comparing models. You can see the code in our conversation history. 12. Argumentation evaluation theories are not competitors but complements. In practice, schools may combine Tyler's goal-oriented clarity, Scriven's openness to unintended outcomes, and SIP's holistic approach. 13. Synthesis evaluation must integrate philosophical, psychological, and sociological insights. Effective evaluation is therefore systematic, scientific methods, contextual, responsive to local needs, ethical, fair, and inclusive. 14. Implications. Teachers should adopt multi-model evaluation strategies. Policymakers should design hybrid frameworks combining objectivity and responsiveness. Researchers should evaluate which model best suits specific research questions. 15. Follow-up assignments for doctoral students. 1. Compare Tyler, Scriven, and Stufflebeam theories in a table. 2. Apply the SIP model to evaluate a small-scale educational program. 16. Value foundation evaluation must uphold truth, fairness, inclusivity, and accountability. Theories should be used not only for accuracy, but also for justice in education. Tash 17. Practice questions answer key. 1. What is the main focus of Tyler's evaluation model? Answer. Achievement of educational objectives. 2. Who introduced goal-free evaluation? Answer. Michael Scriven. List the 4 components of the SIP model. Answer. Context, input, process, product. What is the main advantage of Stake's responsive evaluation? Answer. It involves stakeholders and adapts to their needs. 5. Why is Kirkpatrick's model popular in professional training? Answer: it assesses reaction, learning, behavior, and results systematically. Summary: theories of evaluation, from Tyler's goal-oriented to Stufflebeam's SIEP, offer varied perspectives. Each provides tools for different educational contexts. Together, they ensure evaluation is comprehensive, contextual, and value-driven. References: Tyler R.W., 1949, Basic Principles of Curriculum and Instruction. Scriven M., 1991, Evaluation Thesaurus. Stufflebeam, D.L. 3, The CIP Model for Evaluation. Stake R., 1975, Program Evaluation, Particularly Responsive Evaluation. Araconto S., 2017, Foundations of Educational Evaluation, 2020, Closing Statement. Foundations and theories of evaluation provide the intellectual scaffolding for practice. As education becomes more complex, combining multiple theories ensures evaluation remains relevant, fair, and transformative. Prof, would you like me to move with Chapter 4, Models of Educational Evaluation? 1. Title of the chapter: Models and Approaches to Educational Evaluation. Ma 2. Background educational evaluation does not follow a single path. Over decades, different models and approaches have been developed to suit varied contexts, ranging from goal-focused frameworks to holistic, responsive, and competency-based models. Each model reflects a particular philosophy of education shaped by theoretical, cultural, and practical needs. In Indonesia, evaluation models have been adapted into school systems, higher education accreditation, and professional training. Understanding these models allows researchers and practitioners to select, adapt, and combine them according to specific educational challenges. 3. Problem statement: what are the major models of educational evaluation? How do these models differ in purpose, methodology, and application? Which models are most suitable for Indonesia's current educational reforms? Objectives: 1. To explain the major models and approaches to evaluation. 2. To compare their strengths, limitations, and applications. 3. To relate global models to the Indonesian educational context. 5. Benefits: for students, builds critical understanding of evaluation frameworks. For lecturers, provides teaching material for evaluation methodology. For policymakers, informs the design of large-scale evaluation systems. For institutions, guides program evaluation and accreditation processes. 6. Theoretical framework. Educational evaluation models are grounded in different theoretical traditions. Positivism, objective, measurable outcomes, Tyler Kirkpatrick. Pragmatism, focus on usefulness for decision-making, CF, Stake. Constructivism, responsive, participatory approaches, Stake, goal-free. 7. Relevant research. Tyler, 1949, foundational and objective-based evaluation. Stufflebeam, 1967, developed the CIP model for educational programs. Scriven, 1991, emphasized goal-free evaluation to avoid bias. Stay, 1975, advocated responsive evaluation to meet stakeholders' needs. Kirkpatrick, 1994, applied 4-level evaluation for training and professional development. Hawaii 8, main concepts, major models. Tyler's objective-oriented model measures achievement of stated goals. Scriven's goal-free evaluation identifies actual outcomes, including unintended ones. Stufflebeam's SIPIT model evaluates context, input, process, and product. Stake's countenance model compares intended versus observed outcomes. Stake's responsive model prioritizes stakeholder concerns and participation. Kirkpatrick model measures training results in 4 levels: reaction, learning, behavior, results. 9 analysis. Tyler, clear, simple, widely used in schools, limited by rigid objectives. Scriven captures hidden effects but lacks focus without goals. Seek comprehensive, good for policy program evaluation but requires heavy data. Countenance, useful for comparing plans versus results but complex to implement. Responsive, inclusive and democratic but risks subjectivity. Kirkpatrick, popular in training and certification but less effective for broad curriculum. Number 10, case studies. Indonesia's National Assessment, Assessment National, uses CP context, school readiness, input, teacher training, process, learning practices, product, student competencies. Accreditation by BAM-PT, combination of CIP and countenance. Professional training, Indonesia's LSP-BNSP, applies Kirkpatrick's 4 levels to evaluate certification results. OECD's PISA reflects goal-free aspects measuring literacy and numeracy across countries regardless of national objectives. #11, illustration, comparative overview. You can see the code in our conversation history. Argumentation. No single model is perfect. Instead, integrated use of multiple models produces better evaluation. For example, schools can combine Tyler, clear objectives, SEIP, contextual analysis, and Scriven, unintended outcomes, for a more balanced system. 13, synthesis evaluation models represent different lenses for understanding education. When combined, they offer a holistic framework. Objective clarity, Tyler. Comprehensive program review, CIP. Sensitivity to hidden outcomes, Scriven. Responsiveness to stakeholders, STAKE. Training and professional performance. 14, implications. Teachers should not depend on a single model, but adapt based on context. Policymakers should design evaluation policies with flexibility to integrate models. Institutions should train evaluators to master multiple approaches. 15, follow-up assignments for doctoral students. 1, compare and contrast 2 models, e.g. Tyler versus SEIP in a research paper. 2, apply 1 model to evaluate a current program in their institution. 16, value foundation evaluation should be guided by truth, fairness, inclusivity, and accountability. Using diverse models prevents bias and ensures a balanced judgment. 17, practice questions, 5 items plus answer key. What is the main principle of Tyler's evaluation model? Answer, achievement of predetermined educational objectives. 2, who developed the CIPP model and what does it stand for? Answer, Stufflebeam, context, input, process, product. 3, what is unique about Scriven's goal-free evaluation? Answer, it focuses on actual effects, not stated goals. 4, why is Kirkpatrick's model widely used in professional training? Answer, it systematically measures reaction, learning, behavior, and results. 5, what is the strength of STAKE's responsive evaluation? Answer, it involves stakeholders directly and adapts to their needs. 18, summary. Educational evaluation models, from Tyler's goal-oriented to Stufflebeam SIP and Kirkpatrick's 4 levels, offer varied perspectives. Each serves different contexts, and together they form a toolbox for improving educational quality. 19, references. Tyler R.W. 1949, Basic Principles of Curriculum and Instruction. Scriven M. 1991, Evaluation Thesaurus. Stufflebeam 2003, The CIP Model for Evaluation. Stake R. 1975, Responsive Evaluation. Kirkpatrick D. 1994, Evaluating Training Programs. 20, closing statement models and approaches provide frameworks to make evaluation meaningful and useful. Rather than choosing one model, the best practice is to synthesize multiple approaches, ensuring evaluations are clear, comprehensive, and responsive to both goals and realities. Prof, would you like me to continue directly with Chapter 5, use smoothly after Chapter 4? Chapter 5, Evaluation in Basic and Secondary Education Act. 1, title of the chapter, Evaluation in Basic and Secondary Education. 2, background. Basic and secondary education forms the foundation of human resource development. Evaluation at this level is crucial because it determines not only students' learning outcomes, but also the quality of schools and teachers. In Indonesia, evaluation has historically shifted from centralized exam-oriented systems, ITANAS and UN, to competency-based assessments such as the National Assessment National AN. Hire 3, problem statement. How has evaluation evolved in Indonesian basic and secondary education? What are the purposes of evaluation at each school level, elementary, junior high, senior high, vocational? How can evaluation balance cognitive achievement with character building and inclusivity? NA4, Objectives 1, to describe the role of evaluation in primary and secondary education. 2, to analyze changes in evaluation systems across different eras. 3, to connect evaluation practices with curriculum reform and quality assurance. 5, benefits. For students, evaluation provides feedback on mastery and areas for improvement. For teachers, guides instructional planning and professional growth. For schools, serves as a benchmark for quality assurance. For government, supplies data for policymaking and curriculum development. HANA 6, theoretical framework. Behaviorist theory. Evaluation as reinforcement through tests. Constructivist theory, evaluation as authentic assessment, projects, portfolios. Systems theory, Evaluation as part of continuous quality improvement. 7. Relevant research. OECD, TIMSS. Highlight the importance of literacy and numeracy in global benchmarking. Kemendik Budristek, 2020 to 2022. Evaluation reforms with Assessment National improved focus on equity. Indonesian scholars, Arakunto 2019, show that authentic assessment better develops higher order thinking skills. 8. Main concepts. Tanis, 1970s-1990s, centralized exams for standardization. UN Ujian National, 2000 to 2019, high-stakes testing, criticized for pressure and inequity. Curriculum 2013, introduced authentic assessment, project-based, performance-based. Assessment National, 2020 present, diagnostic, competency-focused. AKM, character survey, learning environment survey. Non-analysis. Strengths of UN, standardization, comparability. Weaknesses of UN, high stakes, neglects non-cognitive skills, creates inequality. Strengths of Assessment National, holistic, diagnostic, focuses on literacy, numeracy, character, environment. Weaknesses of Assessment National, requires strong digital infrastructure, teacher readiness, and equity in rural areas. Shimmer 10, case studies, Indonesia 2021, first nationwide Assessment National. Results showed gaps between urban and rural schools. Singapore, balanced evaluation combining national exams and school-based assessments. Finland, relies heavily on teacher assessments, minimal standardized testing. 11. Illustration timeline. You can see the code in our conversation history. 12. Argumentation evaluation should not be reduced to exams. While exams can measure academic skills, they often fail to capture creativity, collaboration, and moral character. Modern evaluation must combine academic performance with holistic development. Synthesis evaluation in basic and secondary education is moving toward a competency-based, diagnostic, and formative system. The goal is to ensure fairness, equity, and meaningful learning outcomes. 14. Implications. Teachers need training in authentic assessment. Schools must build cultures of evaluation beyond test scores. Policymakers must ensure access to digital tools for equity in evaluation. 15. Follow-up assignments for doctoral students. 1. Analyze the transition from UN to Assessment National, strengths and challenges. 2. Propose an evaluation framework for vocational high schools in Indonesia. 16. Value foundation evaluation in basic education must uphold equity, inclusivity, fairness, and human dignity, ensuring all children have the opportunity to succeed regardless of socioeconomic background. 17. Practice questions, 5 items, answer key. 1. What was the main weakness of the UN system? Answer, high stakes nature, unfairness, and narrow focus on test scores. 2. What are the 3 components of Assessment National? Answer, AKM, character survey, learning environment survey. 3. Why is authentic assessment important in Curriculum 2013? Answer, it measures higher order skills, creativity, and real-world application. 4. How does PISA influence Indonesia's evaluation reforms? Answer, encourages focus on literacy, numeracy, and problem solving. 5. Give 1 implication of Assessment National for rural schools. Answer, need for digital access and teacher training to ensure fairness. 18. Summary. The history of evaluation in basic and secondary education in Indonesia reflects a shift from centralized, exam-driven models toward competency-based, inclusive, and diagnostic assessments. The current system emphasizes not only knowledge but also perfect prof. I will now prepare Chapter 5, Evaluation in Basic and Secondary Education, Dick Dasman, in English, fully detailed with the 20 ADRI textbook elements so it continues smoothly after Chapter 4. Chapter 5, Evaluation in Basic and Secondary Education. 1. Title of the chapter, Evaluation in Basic and Secondary Education. Title of the chapter, Evaluation in Higher Education, Dictee. 2. Background. Higher education plays a central role in producing qualified graduates, conducting research, and serving society. To ensure quality, higher education institutions must be systematically evaluated. In Indonesia, this evaluation has evolved from government oversight through the Ministry of Education to structured accreditation conducted by BAM-PT, National Accreditation Board for Higher Education, and independent LAMs, independent accreditation agencies. The global era of international ranking systems, QS, THE, Webometrics, and Indonesia's Merdeka Belajar Campus Merdeka, MBKM program highlight the need for evaluation that not only measures compliance, but also promotes innovation, impact, and relevance. 3. Problem statement. How has higher education evaluation developed in Indonesia? What roles do BAM-PT and LAM play in accreditation? How can evaluation address challenges of globalization and Campus Merdeka? 4 objectives. 1. To explain the functions and mechanisms of higher education evaluation. 2. To analyze the evolution of BAM-PT and LAM accreditation systems. 3. To evaluate the alignment of higher education evaluation with global standards and Campus Merdeka. 5. Benefits. For students, ensures the quality and recognition of degrees. For lecturers, provides a framework for professional development and accountability. For institutions, strengthens credibility, competitiveness, and continuous improvement. For policymakers, guides higher education reform and resource allocation. 6. Theoretical framework. Quality assurance theory. Evaluation as systematic monitoring and improvement. Accountability theory. Institutions must justify performance to stakeholders. Continuous improvement. Evaluation should drive innovation, not just compliance. 7. Relevant research. BAM-PT reports, 1994 to 2020, documented the accreditation of universities and programs across Indonesia. OECD 2019 emphasized higher education evaluation for employability and social impact. UNESCO 2021 promoted international quality assurance frameworks for developing countries. 8. Main concepts: accreditation, external recognition of institutional or program quality. Internal quality assurance, SPMI, continuous evaluation within universities. LAM, independent accreditation agencies, specialized accreditors for medicine, engineering, etc. IKU, key performance indicators, indicators for Campus Merdeka success, graduate employability, research impact, innovation. 9. Analysis, strengths of BAM-PT, nationwide standardization, credibility, legitimacy. Weaknesses of BAM-PT, over-centralized, sometimes bureaucratic. Strengths of LAM, more specialized, profession-oriented. Weaknesses of LAM, resource-intensive, fragmented system. Campus Merdeka challenge, evaluation must now include flexibility, innovation, and international collaboration. 10. Case studies. BAM-PT's transformation from 7 to 9 accreditation standards, including vision, governance, and outcomes. LAM-PTKs, independent agency for health sciences, ensuring graduates meet professional standards. Global ABET engineering accreditation in USA as a model influencing Indonesian LAM technique. 11. Illustration, comparative framework. You can see the code in our conversation history. 12. Argumentation. Evaluation in higher education should go beyond bureaucratic compliance. It must serve as a transformative tool that encourages innovation, international competitiveness, and responsiveness to societal needs. Accreditation should not only ensure minimum standards, but also promote excellence. 13. Synthesis. Higher education evaluation in Indonesia is moving from standardization and compliance toward outcome-based, impact-oriented evaluation. By integrating BAM-PT, LAM, and IKU, the system can ensure both accountability and continuous improvement. And 14. Implications. Universities must strengthen internal quality assurance, SPMI. Policymakers must support LAMs while ensuring coherence with BAM-PT. Lecturers must align teaching, research, and service with IQ indicators. None are 15. Follow-up assignments for doctoral students. 1. Evaluate the strengths and weaknesses of BAM-PT versus LAM in Indonesia. 2. Propose an evaluation framework for a university adapting to Campus Merdeka. 16. Value foundation evaluation in higher education must uphold integrity, transparency, accountability, inclusivity, and excellence. 17. Practice 5 items answer key. 1. What is the function of BAM-PT? Answer: to accredit higher education institutions and programs nationwide. 2. What is the difference between BAM-PT and LAM? Answer: BAM-PT is general. LAM is specialized by discipline. What does SPMI stand for? Answer: System Penjaminan Mutu Internal Quality Assurance System. 4. What are IKU indicators in Campus Merdeka? Answer: graduate employability, research impact, innovation, partnerships. 5. Why must higher education evaluation move beyond compliance? Answer: to foster innovation, relevance, and international competitiveness. Shastra 8 Summary. Evaluation in higher education in Indonesia has evolved from centralized accredited PT to a diversified system including specialized LAMs, internal quality assurance, and performance-based indicators, IKU. This ensures accountability while driving innovation and international competitiveness. 19. References: Band PT, Accreditation Guidelines, OECD 2019, Quality Assurance in Higher Education, UNESCO 2021, International Higher Education Evaluation Frameworks, Kemendikbudristek Campus Merdeka Policy. 20. Closing statement. Higher education evaluation must serve as a bridge between national priorities and global standards. By strengthening accreditation, quality assurance, and performance-based evaluation, Indonesia can ensure its universities not only comply, but also lead in innovation and societal impact. Prof, would you like me to now continue with Chapter 7, Evaluation of Adult Education and Training, andragogy, in the same 20-element English narrative, or pause here so I can prepare a comparative chart, Band PT's LAM versus EKU, as a visual aid for Chapter 6?